Okay, can you see the screen now, sweetheart?
Yes.
Okay, fine. That's great. So I will start the timer for you. You will just take your 2 minutes and then you will start the session with me. And yes, all of you, um, thank you so much because your name is not there, so I will call you Shushu. So yes, thank you so much. Okay, so Pradnya, your time starts now, sweetheart. Okay, so take your 2 minutes time, and all of you, please. I'm sure this is going to be. Many of you know that this is a very important and somewhat easiest session, but still, these 10 minutes are for the candidate who is, performing with the mentor. Okay, so be there. By the end of this session, we will have a good discussion. Okay, great. Okay, start.
Right. Just a second.
Yes, yes, take your 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right, ma'am. Can I start?
Yes, you can. Okay, let me. Okay, hold on. Okay, yes. When you say hello, I will start the timer for you. Okay?
Right. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dr. Pradnya. I'm one of the doctors in the antenatal clinic today. May I confirm your name and age, please?
Yes, I'm Amanda Thomas, and I'm 25 years.
And how would you like me to address you?
Amanda is fine, doctor.
You can call me Pradnya. So,
Okay.
Amanda, what I understand from your notes is that this is your first visit in your pregnancy and you've had epilepsy since you were 13 years of age. Is that right?
Yes, doctor.
Right, Amanda. So, in the next 2 minutes, we will talk. We will talk about your concerns. But is it okay if I ask you a few questions before that, just to get to know you a little better?
Oh, yes, sure, doctor.
Right, and then I will walk you through your care plan, and towards the end, I will be giving you a few information leaflets so that you could go back home and read up about them. Would that be okay?
Yes, doctor. That's fine.
Okay, Amanda. So, can you tell me a little bit more about your epilepsy?
Yes, doctor. I'm having this epilepsy since I was like, 13 years. So since then I'm having this, and I am on medications as well. And I believe I'm pretty much controlled. So that's why, I thought to, start my family. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. That I really want to discuss that how this epilepsy is going to affect me, my baby, and my pregnancy as well.
That's great, Amanda. I really appreciate that you came in to talk about it. Could you tell me when was your last episode of FIT?
It was almost like 2 years ago, doctor.
Right, and have you ever been admitted to the hospital for that?
No.
And can you tell me what medications you're taking, Amanda?
At the moment, doctor, I'm taking, there's a medication that is lamotrigine, so I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay, that's good. And are you in touch with your epilepsy doctor as to regarding your pregnancy?
Yes, doctor. I had my last visit like 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. And is he aware about the pregnancy and is he okay with it?
Actually, I mean, he knew that I'm planning to get pregnant, but when me and my partner, we started to think of about it, so I didn't tell him that I'm pregnant. And since I know that I'm epileptic and I have to visit a doctor, gynae doctor, in fact, so that's why I'm here to discuss.
All right, that's great. And Amanda, have you started taking folic acid?
Yes, midwife has given me this.
Okay, that's good. And how far along in the pregnancy are you, Amanda?
I'm currently 8 weeks pregnant.
Okay, and have you had any blood tests till now?
No, doctor.
And are you aware of your blood group?
No.
Any? Okay, we'll be checking that. And do you have any reservations towards blood transfusion at all?
Blood transfusion? No, doctor. Do I need blood transfusion because I'm
Not
epileptic?
necessarily. Oh no, not necessarily, and definitely not because you're epileptic. This is the
Hmm?
routine that we ask everybody about this.
Okay, okay, all right, okay, all right.
Right. And Amanda, before you got pregnant, were your periods regular and normal?
Yes, everything was
And
okay.
okay, and what about your cervical screening?
Yeah, I am about to have one, but I think my doctor, my GP told me that because I'm pregnant now, so they are not going to take, my smear at the moment.
Mm-hmm. All right. And do you have any family history of concern that you would like to tell me about?
No, doctor.
Okay. And other than the epilepsy, are you following up with your GP for any other medical conditions?
No.
And have you had any surgeries in the past?
Yes, I had one. I had my appendix removed when I was, I think, 8 years or 9 years. That's it.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
all I remember.
All right. And can you tell me what you do for a living, Amanda?
I used to work as a secretary in an office, but recently I stopped working because we were just planning to have baby. That's it.
Right. Okay. And who do you live with, Amanda?
My partner,
Right. And how's your support at home?
he's quite supportive, quite loving.
That's good to know. What about do you smoke, Amanda?
No,
And what about alcohol?
yes, socially.
Okay. And during pregnancy?
At the moment, not that much.
Right. That's good. And pardon me to ask, do you consume any recreational drugs?
No, doctor.
Right. And do you have any known allergies?
Yes, I am allergic to paracetamol.
Paracetamol. All right. Okay. And well, thanks for sharing this information with me, Amanda. Is there anything else that you would like to add to it?
No, doctor. I don't want to add. In fact, I have plenty of questions to ask. If you don't mind, can I ask?
Sure, sure, go ahead. But I would just like to tell you that we'll be examining you in the presence of a chaperone if you're okay with it. Just to
Yes.
check your just to check your pulse and blood pressure, and maybe take a urine sample. And we'll be running
Okay.
a few tests and doing a scan later on if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, sure, sure.
All right. Amanda, coming to your questions, is there anything specific that you would like to know?
No, no, doctor. Like I have told you earlier, that I just want to ask that how this epilepsy is going to affect me, my baby, and the medications I'm on. Is it safe to be taken in pregnancy?
Mhm. Okay. So, Amanda, the fact that you have epilepsy, most of the women who do have epilepsy go on to term and deliver normal babies, and the pregnancies are usually uneventful. But there
That's
are
great.
certain concerns with epilepsy with regards to you and the baby. And coming to the how epilepsy would affect your pregnancy is there are certain chances uh, that you could have something known as there are chances that you could have miscarriages in the first trimester. There are also certain chances that you could deliver early, and on the baby, your baby could be small. And coming to medications, because of anti-epileptic medications or the epilepsy medications, sometimes the baby can have some abnormalities. But considering the fact that you're taking lamotrigine, that is the safest drug that can be taken in epilepsy. So be rest assured.
Okay. So I can
Okay.
I can keep on taking this medication here.
Yes. But yeah. Coming to how the pregnancy would affect your epilepsy, mostly there is mostly the epilepsy does not have any harmful effect. The pregnancy does not have any effect on the epilepsy, but in certain conditions, the frequency of fits could increase, not specifically because of the pregnancy, but because of being tired during pregnancy or because of being dehydrated or any sort of stress. So it is advisable to stay hydrated and to stay away from stress. And rest, I will be walking you through your antenatal and intrapart and care that we will be giving you during your labor and after your delivery. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So starting with the fact that you're already taking the folic acid, I hope you're taking the higher dose, that is 5 mg.
Yes, I am taking full tablet 5 milligram.
Okay, that's great. So you will be continuing the 5 mg folic acid till your into your 13th week of pregnancy. Okay,
All right. All right.
and we will be monitoring the baby with scans during during your 12th week scan and at the 20-week scan, just to check if the baby is doing well and if he or she has no abnormalities.
Okay.
Okay, and later on we will be doing growth scans just to make sure the baby is growing well and there is no problem with that.
A growth scan, doctor? Like.
We will be doing scans to see if the baby is growing okay or not, and
Uh-huh.
we will be
All
doing it
right.
more frequently than we would do in a normal in a person who doesn't have epilepsy.
Okay, okay, all right.
And just to make sure everything is okay, nothing to be scared about.
Oh, all right, all right.
Right? And you will be cared for by a team of doctors, Amanda. These would involve the consultant, and you would be
Okay,
cared for in a consultant-led team, and your epilepsy doctor, a specialist midwife, also um, and later on, if you need any sort of surgical, any sort of cesarean or something, there would be an anesthetist involved and also an intensivist. All right.
all right.
Okay.
Doctor, I want to ask one thing
Yes.
because I have heard so much of the kind of pain medications because I'm
Mm.
really afraid of pains and all because it can cause me fits. So I'm
Yes.
really worried that can I have all of the pain medications during my when it comes to labor?
Yes, that's a good question, Amanda. Being pain-free during labor is very important, especially considering you have epilepsy and that could lead to a fit. So we will be giving you analgesia and making your labor as comfortable as possible. Just that we would be avoiding a drug called pethidine because that could lead to a fit and it could make your condition it could worsen your condition. So that is
All
one
right.
drug that we would be avoiding during your labor.
Mhm. Okay, okay, that's fine. And what about breastfeeding? Can I breastfeed my baby afterwards?
Oh, definitely, you can breastfeed your baby, and we will be supporting you in breastfeeding as well.
Okay.
There are just a few things that you will need to take care of. In the sense, it's preferred if you would nurse your baby on the floor, um,
Okay.
and if you have an aura that you might have a fit, you would just place the baby down. You know,
Okay.
yeah, and considering and about the medications, if you're still on lamotrigine, it is safe during breastfeeding, but it is always advisable that you feed the baby first and then take the medicine. But it is secreted in a very limited amount in the breast milk, and it is considered pretty safe during the breastfeeding.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and so do you have any more questions, Amanda?
No, doctor. I had only these questions.
Right,
Thank you so
Amanda.
much.
So okay, so I've given you a lot of information, and I'll be giving you a information leaflet also that you could go back home and read. And I'll be providing you some numbers of support groups that'll help you understand your situation better. I'll be fixing an appointment with my consultant for you if that's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
fine, doctor.
yeah, so I'll see you in 4 weeks' time. All right. And if you have any problem, you can contact us on the emergency number that's provided to you. All right.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, doctor.
Thanks for your time, Amanda.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Pradnya. So how was it?
I don't know how.
Any no, I think you should know and you should first of all assess yourself as well. So how do you think did you do?
I actually could not complete the care plan. I was at antenatal, and then the Rosedale asked about pethidine, so I couldn't finish intrapartum and postpartum and contraception and all that. So
Hmm.
that
And in
that
fact,
went
what I felt was that you became tired. Never, get tired in 10 minutes station. Okay? Because
right,
you should be very much fresh because you have to enter in next cubicle. Okay?
right,
So even
yes,
if it is your 14th station, the last station, you have to fight till your last station. Okay? So you have
yes,
to keep your spirits high at all times. Okay? What I
yeah,
felt was that you started with a very good spirit, and by the end of the station, because I had to dig, I had to ask questions, but I felt myself that I felt that probably you got tired. Okay. And yes, there were probably the background noises as well, and that also distracted me to at some places, and probably you too as well. Okay. But doesn't matter in real exam. Be extremely careful, because if it is online, that obviously you have to avoid all these noises at all
yes,
times. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. So, okay, coming back to you again. So, what did you do good? Which part of the station did you do good? Do you think?
Information gathering. I think I'm always
Very good.
better in the
Yes,
beginning, and then yeah.
you did good in information gathering. That's what I felt too. Okay, but remember one thing. Always try to finish one sentence and then jump on to the next sentence. Don't be that slow. Okay, don't be
Mm-hmm.
that kind of speedy, and don't be in hurry. Okay, don't give this impression that you are in hurry and you are in hurry to go somewhere. Okay, for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, in real life at least 10 to 15 minutes we do give to every patient there is, isn't it? So in
Yeah.
exam for 10 minutes at least, you have to ask in a very, the polite tone, in a very, the normal kind of a way. It shouldn't be like, I mean, okay, I just have to finish my template, I just have to finish my templates. It shouldn't be like this. Okay, so
Right.
yes, on the other hand, what I felt was your history was good. Only thing which I felt was lacking was the perinatal mental health questions. Okay,
Oh yeah,
because
I
epilepsy
forgot about that.
patients, yes,
Yes, yes,
epilepsy
I'm
patients,
right
they
about.
can be at having risk of, some other mental health issues as
Yes,
well. Okay, so you have to inquire. Even in almost all cases, you should inquire. But in this particular scenario, wherever you think that this woman could be, because any medical disorder can pose any woman to at having risk of, any of the mental health issues. So it is
yes.
better to ask. Plus, it's better to ask in such cases screening for domestic abuse as well if time allows. Okay, so you can
Mm-hmm.
ask in simple way that have you felt threatened by anyone? Do you feel scared by anyone? Because she is epileptic already, so she can be at risk of, so many things there is.
Uh,
If she has said that I
Ma'am,
have, mhm.
won't how's your support at home and how's everything at home? Wouldn't that
Yes, I'm
suffice here?
I'm coming to this point. Yes, if she has said that yes, I am having good support at home, and what if, the role player changes, and probably this could be an hidden agenda. I'm just asking in this way.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so you
got it.
have to keep each and everything in your mind that yes, and that this can happen because epilepsy or any medical disorder, if there are long-standing problems, then yes, they can be at risk of development of so many other issues as well, isn't it? So I
Mm-hmm.
really liked the history part when you asked about, presenting complaint. Okay, another thing I want to address, don't just try to narrate the question. Okay, this I always tell to almost all candidates, don't just narrate the question. Okay, so you
Mm-hmm.
can only say that okay, I understand that this is your first visit in this pregnancy and you are known epilepsy since 13 years of age. So this really makes a very long sentence. Okay, so you can
Mm-hmm.
just, sum up into this thing. Okay, Amanda, I understand that you are epileptic, for the, or you can say that I can see that you are a known case of epilepsy, or you can say that you are epilepsy patient. Okay, or epilepsy, whatever you can say, but don't narrate the question, whatever is written in question. Okay, don't
Okay.
just, try to repeat it. It doesn't give, because this will take your another 30 seconds, 25 seconds. So
Mm-hmm.
kill those, the 30, keep your those 30 seconds with you, because you never know what is going to be the question afterwards by the, the role player.
Right.
Okay, because you haven't come to in the management plan, it was good. I think it was okay that you have spoken about that, the risk of, the epilepsy to the pregnancy and the baby, and the risk of effect of, in fact, you can say the effect of epilepsy on the pregnancy and effect of pregnancy on epilepsy, vice versa. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and remember, all of you, in all medical disorders, you have to divide the things into two parts. Okay, how does this epilepsy will behave in pregnancy, and what are going to be the effects of pregnancy on epilepsy itself. So what is the natural course of epilepsy? What is the natural course of epilepsy? We do know that two-third will remain same, one-third will improve, one-third will get worse. So at least you have to say that. Okay. So your opening sentence was, I have written it down over here, that many of the pregnancy women, they do deliver vaginally. Okay, that is okay. But I think when you speak about vaginal delivery or delivery itself, this should be in the end of discussion. Okay. Because before delivery, you have 9 months to manage. Okay, apart
Okay.
from that, you have well covered that there can be the risk of miscarriages, but at the same time, you can add that this risk is not higher than the general population, because then she will have this much fear of, okay, because I am epileptic, that's why I am at risk of having miscarriage. Okay, so miscarriage, if she is on, the other anti-epileptic, she has told you herself that she is on lamotrigine. Okay, that is considered to be safe drug. But yes, you will talk about, the you will tell in a way that okay, yes, since I can see that you are on lamotrigine, and that this puts you at very lowest risk of for the baby complications what baby can have. Okay, but it is considered to be safe. But yes, on the other hand, you have to take these medications on time, on every day. Okay, so this will, prevent you from development of what 2020 MB race report has emphasized. It has emphasized that now we have to talk about risk of sudden and unexplained death, and that is more commonly seen in epilepsy women. Okay,
Right.
and regarding fits, you have spoken about everything, but I think you have to talk about the nature of the fits as well. Okay, nature of the fits as well, that is very important. Why nature of the fits as well? Because sudden unexplained death with epilepsy, this is with generalized epilepsy, the grand mal epilepsy patients.
Yeah.
Okay, according to 2020 MB race report, this is what I want to highlight. 2020 MB race report says that yes, now we need to talk about more SUDEP. Okay, so with epilepsy, this is very much important that you will stress this thing as well, in the lines of that, keeping in view of this. So Amanda, this is very much important that you keep yourself hydrated at all times, that you take your medications on time. And if you think that you cannot remember medications, taking medications on time, you can even put alarms as well. So it will give you idea that okay, now you have to take medications. Okay, and it's better that you are well rested at all times. So this will prevent you from development of this. Okay, and this is a very it is you can say that sometimes this can be seen in pregnancy, so it is very much important that you do take this. Okay, so women who do stop their medications, so they have generally high risk of development of so many other complications as well, that the fits can increase, and then the chances of development of the SUDEP can increase as well. And particularly because if you could have asked me, then I would have told you that I am a grand mal epilepsy patient. Okay, so it means that I want you to touch this part as well. This is from nice. This is from Green Top guideline, that this is the SUDEP. The most common cause is grand mal epilepsy. Plus, you have to highlight. At least examiner will understand. Okay, you have touched this part. Okay. Apart from that, you have talked about folic acid. It was good, and you have talked about last fit. It was good. Allergy, very good. And why you want to examine the woman who is here for booking visit? Okay, and she's just looks like very low risk patient at 8 weeks. What do you address in the first trimester, Pradanya?
Ma'am, we won't be doing checking pulse, BP, and all that
Why do you check? Do you check?
to rule out if she has raised BP or any proteinuria. I thought we do it generally for all patients.
Mm, I think it's better that if she is here for booking visit, better to talk about epilepsy and you just skip this examination,
Okay,
because
it's
then you
fine,
will.
right, ma'am? I thought it was to be done routinely for all, so I've made it as I say it in every station.
I think in some of the stations you can say, in some of the stations you can skip. Okay, because
Okay.
generally for me myself, I won't lie, I have never said this thing that I will examine you in the presence of chaperone. I will check your blood pressure, your pulse. If it really requires, then yes, you can. If it doesn't require,
Okay.
then don't go. This seems to
Okay.
be a very low risk case. She is here to discuss about epilepsy and risk of epilepsy and drugs on the baby and pregnancy as well, isn't it? Then you asked about the pap smear. I think you should understand and you should keep this thing in your mind as well, that 25 years, 24.5 years, she will receive first invitation.
All, yeah.
And then by the age of 25 years, she will have her first, the pap
First
smear.
mirror.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Then afterwards, you have spoken about, you have, thought of that, okay, this looks to be a low risk, then you will come to the management. Then yes, in management, you have spoken well. But I will say again that if you want to address each and every, the effect of pregnancy, effect, okay, regarding miscarriages, IUGR and everything. So at the same time, kill that, scenario there and then. If you want to talk about congenital anomalies, then you will clarify it that since you are on lamotrigine, so this puts you at somewhat lower risk of the development of the baby complications. But yes, we will have a scan, detailed scan, when you will turn to 18 to 20 weeks. Then we might see the baby's heart as well with the help of the fetal echo. Okay, so
Mhm.
then you will be explaining like this. Then we will, with the passage of the time, okay, and with your subsequent visits with us, then we will book you with the growth scan as well, in which we will see that how baby is growing, and we will have them at least the monthly interval. So this you have to say I asked twice that, the growth scan, you have mentioned growth scan, but say that when you are going to have 4 weekly, you will do, okay? So four
Okay.
weekly, monthly, you will scan do till 36 weeks, okay?
Right.
And then you will have to decide for the mode of birth, all right? And then you will
Right.
sit, then you will talk about the pain relief as well, then you will have anesthesia input, then you will have, then you will talk about delivery. If everything goes fine, you are good, your baby is doing good, then we will sit again and then we will talk about your plan of the labor. Okay, but since Amanda, you are epilepsy, so yes, you have to deliver in the hospital in consultant-led unit, because uh, because then you will justify your that why you want her to deliver in consultant-led unit, because the laboring, when woman is laboring, the woman will be you will be under stress, okay? So at that time we need to monitor you and your baby as well, closely monitor you, okay?
Okay.
And because we have to monitor you, and there can be chances that you can throw fit in at the time of the labor as well, because labor is a time where a woman can go into the stress as well. And you will be given your all medications in the hospital as well. We will continue these medications, and there can be rare chances that 1 in 100 women can throw fit more than the usual epileptic woman. So we have to keep you under close observation at all times. Okay, Amanda. So this way you have addressed your, the 1% above the level of what the fits as well. Okay. And regarding this, okay, you have delivered vaginally. I will come to another thing which you have missed. Okay, so I will address that in a separate setting. So labor, you have said that yes, we will give all medications, pain relief. That was very brilliant of you. Pethidine, yes, pethidine is a safety. If you say pethidine, so you will fail the station. Okay, because pethidine is the biggest safety here. Because you don't give pethidine. If you don't want to give pethidine, you have to reason. You have to give reason that why you don't want to give pethidine. Hmm?
Because
Because
it is
it will cause seizure,
okay. Yeah.
it can cause more seizure. So we don't want you to throw fits in while you are laboring, so we won't be giving you pethidine at all. Okay, Amanda, do you get me? Am I clear so far? So give information in chunks, give information in small, the parts, and always check, the understanding as well. All right, and don't be in hurry. Even if whatever you have, the managed in your given time, if you have managed properly, if you have, fulfilled almost all criteria, so it doesn't matter that in the end you have not given patient information leaflet and your marks will be cut. If you haven't given her any support group, so your marks will be cut. Okay. So, but if you have managed the case very well in a proper way, and if you have filled each and every concern of the woman, then yes, there are good chances that you can go through in this station. That's all. Okay. Regarding breastfeeding, yes, you have addressed that issue. That was very good of you. And the last issue which I want to address, in the first half of pregnancy, first trimester, 8 weeks, what is she at risk of? She is more at risk of development of nausea and vomiting. That can lead to
Yes.
hyperemesis. So, what is
Yes.
the effect of hyperemesis on anti-epileptic drugs? Remember, the guideline
Yes.
also addressed this issue as well, isn't it?
Mm.
That if she vomits, that it's better that she repeats her medication again. There are
Yes.
two settings in which vomiting is important, in here and in emergency contraceptive as well,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong. Okay.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
have to keep this thing in our mind as well, because she is 8 weeks at the moment. Okay. So we will tell her that, okay, since you are 8 weeks, so it is very much advisable that you keep on taking your medications on time. And if you vomit, then you can even repeat your medications after like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Okay. And if there is any more troublesome nausea and vomiting, and if it is intractable, uncontrollable, you will immediately contact to your GP or midwife or even epilepsy specialist as well. Because then you can be at risk of throwing fits even in pregnancy as well. Okay. So that can put you at high risk of, the hospital admission. That can also even put your baby at risk as well. Okay. So at all times, you have to address few more things, again and again. You have to emphasize on medication, sleep, rest, hydration. So this way I think you can cover this station very well. So what I think you have missed in this station is, okay, yes, SUDEP and 8 weeks nausea vomiting, and I think you have missed even the MDT. You have said in the almost in the management, no MDT, yes, you have said it was good. And almost, yes, if time allows, that yes, you have to talk about contraception as well, because
Contraception. Yes.
contraception is very much important in epilepsy. Because you don't have to give oral contraceptive pills. If you
Yes.
have to give
Progesterone.
between high and you have to, give her progesterone and this and that. Okay. So altogether, it was good effort, but yes, improve. There is a lot of room of improvement, and yes, you can improve and practice more. Okay, practice more.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, is it clear to all of you? So idea of all role play sessions is that never get tired by just taking history and everything. Okay, you do need to be very fresh, even if it is the 13th station or 14th station. Okay, so probably this is going to be the model answer. Okay, this is how I will enter. And yes, Pradnya, one thing more. When you will enter into the station, because if it is morning, then you have to say morning. Okay, if it is afternoon, you have to say afternoon. Please break the ice as well. You will not just start like like you have just entered and just okay, go on, go on, go on. Okay, so at least you will introduce, you will greet first of all. How we do, you know when a person enter in your clinic, how a person greet you, they say hi, hello. Okay, so the similar way you will say hi, hello as well, because you are entering into the cubicle. You will greet. Okay, unless it is a breaking bad news, and but you need to be little, the calm, and little, the pleasurable as well, that okay, you feel good that you are talking to somebody. Okay, so you will enter into the cubicle. You will say, okay, hello, good morning, I'm Dr. Qureshi, I'm the doctor in the clinic today. Okay, so can I confirm your name and date of birth, please? So please be little, a kind of friendly as well, be little kind of, in a good tone, not in a robotic tone at all times. Okay, then you will set agenda for your consultation. You will say, I understand that you are here to discuss about epilepsy, and because you are epilepsy patient and you are worried about something. So is there anything specific you want to talk about? Okay, so she will tell you that yes, there is specific, because I am concerned regarding my drugs and the epilepsy and the baby. Then yes, okay, then you will say, I appreciate that you have come here, and yes, I will try to be as helpful as possible to you. Okay, and yes, in the end, I will also give you some patient information, helpful leaflets as well, to supplement whatever we have discussed today. All right, Amanda, then you will start taking history regarding epilepsy. You were brilliant in this thing. I really liked it. Okay, but since how long you're epileptic? So even if you have missed, it is written that she was when she was 13 years of age. So here you can also address that. So I understand that you are having epilepsy when you were just 13 years. Is that so? Okay, so this way also you will reconfirm. So then you will ask about, can I ask that what is the type of the fit do you ever have? Because we know that there are certain types of fit, grand mal epilepsy, Jacksonian epilepsy, then we have got the other types of petit mal epilepsy as well. So yes, you will ask, what medications are you on? When was your last fit? And to check control. And yes, we know that if somebody has had 2 years fit before, the last fit 2 years before, so this puts her at high risk of development of status epilepticus in pregnancy, isn't it? What medication is she on? So you will ask about type, dose, if she's on monotherapy or polytherapy as well. Any hospitalization? That was brilliant of you to ask. Last visit to neurologist. So at least 5 questions we do ask in almost all medical disorders. Regarding current pregnancy, you will ask, is it a planned pregnancy or unplanned pregnancy? Are you taking folic acid? If yes, what was the dose? Okay. Did you receive any preconception counseling, or did you meet your, the doctor before getting pregnant or before embarking on pregnancy? Okay. Any contraception was she on to look for failure of medication? But since she was on lamotrigine, then yes, you have to ask as well why lamotrigine is important, and why you have to ask. And you have to adjust the doses as well, because the lamotrigine level falls in between, isn't it? So you have to at least say that, okay, we have to adjust the lamotrigine doses with the help of your epilepsy specialist. Okay, how far are you in this pregnancy? Any issues so far? Okay, any issues, because she is just 8 weeks. So at least this, if you say this, you will inquire about nausea and vomiting. Okay, so have you ever been pregnant before? Allergies, smear? Okay, house support at home, whom do you live with? How about your family? Okay, is somebody else is having any other issue, or any genetic issue running in the family? No. Any recent history of low mood or loss of interest in doing things? Because you have to rule out perinatal mental health. And it's better if you say in the last 4 weeks, because these are our Booley's screening questions. Okay. So you will quickly, give a review. You will say that, okay, Amanda, so you are 25 years and you are having epilepsy when you were 13 years. You are currently on lamotrigine. You are taking 100 milligram twice a day, and you had your last fit 4 years ago. And there is no other, the history of the concern, past history or the family history of concern. And today you are here to discuss about epilepsy and your pregnancy management. Is it did I miss anything, Amanda? Am I missing something? Or do you have any questions so far? Or if there is any kind of, if there is something you want to add. So even if you have missed anything, so you will be, supported by the role player if you have missed anything. Okay. So do quick recap if you think that it was quite a long history. All right. Great. Then you will come to the investigation. Because she is for the booking visit, then you will ask that, okay, I will book you for the routine and investigations, in which we will have some blood tests for you, and also we will book you for the Down syndrome screening as well. All right, Amanda. So this is the Down syndrome screening and the booking bloods, what we offer to all women who come at NHS, the trust for booking. Okay, now you will come off management plan. So you will say, Amanda, in terms of how we will manage your pregnancy and how this pregnancy is going to affect you and your baby. So, let me tell you, Amanda, that, most of the women who are having epilepsy like you, so they do have a very straightforward pregnancies, and they do deliver vaginally, and they do deliver a healthy baby as well. Okay, so then you will explain this. Then you will explain the nausea, vomiting, and management with epilepsy medication. Then you will say that, okay, that we will be giving you shared care with the help of the team of the doctors and midwives. So we call it as multidisciplinary team approach. We will involve senior consultant. We will involve your epilepsy doctor, epilepsy specialist, nurse, and the anesthetist in the later on, and also the baby doctor if needed. Okay. And also we will involve your GP as well, because he should know about your health at all times too.
Minar.
Okay. So yes, Amanda, keeping in view that you will be having shared care, so probably you may need to visit us more frequently, and this would be more than the general care what we advise to all epilepsy women, all pregnant ladies. So you will also offer UK Epilepsy and Pregnancy Register database entry. With your, permission, I would like to enter your name on the UK Epilepsy and Pregnancy Register database entry. So at least we will know that, there is one epilepsy patient with us. So we will have a scans on you, what we offer to all other women, whoever becomes pregnant. We will have a special scan to look for the baby's, the body parts, how they are being formed, because there can be some chances that, the women who are having epilepsy, and even women who are on drugs as well, there can be chances of development of certain the problems in the baby. Okay, there can be some kind, the cuts in the palates, cuts in the throat, cuts in the lips as well. But yes, so that's why we will go for anomaly scan. So if we see any kind of problem, and yes, the problems in the heart as well. If we do see any problem in the heart, we will do detailed baby's heart ultrasound as well at 24 weeks. So after that, if everything goes fine, then also even after that, we will have, the serial growth scan to look for how your baby is growing, how, everything is, inside your womb. So we will have serial growth scan from 28 weeks onwards. So those will be done by like on monthly basis till 36 weeks. So Amanda, since epilepsy since pregnancy itself is a very kind of, the stressful state, there can be chances of development of the fits as well. So it is very much advisable that you keep yourself hydrated at all times, you take enough sleep, and whenever you feel that if there is any kind of aura, that you will always consult to your neurologist, or you will always seek the help. Okay. So whenever you feel that, you are having you are on the medications as well, so it is very much necessary that, you avoid driving as well, avoid the bath and the swimming as well. Okay. And take enough sleep and take medications on time. This is very much important. Okay. Then you will do, if everything goes fine, then we will sit again and have chat with you regarding your the birth and the birth plan. Okay. If everything goes fine, So we will discuss with you the birth plan. All right. So yes, you can deliver vaginally, but your delivery will be in consultant-led unit. So we will offer your baby's heart rate will be regularly monitored as well. So at all times we will keep you hydrated. And Amanda, this labor itself is also a stressful period. So there can be chances that you may throw fit as well. So we will continue your medication in the labor as well. We will offer you almost all pain relief, but we will not be giving you pethidine as well because it can increase the chances of throwing you fits again. All right, that's it. So then, after your delivery, your baby will be reviewed by the baby doctor, and after delivery, it is very much important that you have a review by the your epilepsy doctor, and they will adjust the dose of the medications again if it needs to be. Then it's very much important that you are to be accompanied by somebody who can be with you because again, the after baby's birth, that can be a little challenging time for you to manage because you have to look after yourself, you have to look after the baby as well, and yes, you can breastfeed. Okay, so whenever you feel that you are having any kind of aura while you are carrying your baby, so what you will do that you will put the baby on the floor. Okay, so it's better that you at all times you be accompanied in the immediate postpartum period, and it's very much necessary and advisable that you have adequate birth spacing till next pregnancy. So you have to have some kind of contraception. So we will discuss once you will deliver. And yes, regarding this, we won't be able to offer you some kind of drugs, okay, the oral contraceptive pills, okay, and but we can offer you the coil as well, but we will discuss with you there and then because naturally in 10 minutes time, I think even till you cover this thing till breastfeeding and shallow bath and nursing on floor in the baby's care, I think this way you will gain very good marks. So you will close the station, you will ask about Amanda, am I clear so far? Do you have any other question? Is there anything you have to ask, or is there anything I have to repeat again? All right, any phrase you can choose, any phrase you can choose. So then you will offer, okay, Minda, thank you so much. Okay, so I am giving you this RCOG Royal College. It's better. It gives very good impression if you give, the PIL if it is from Royal College. So you will say that I will give you patient information leaflet from Royal College. So you can read this PIL at home as well. So it will supplement whatever we have discussed today. Okay, give her support group and counselor if needed. All right, and that's it. You will close and you will say her, okay, all the best for your remainder time of the pregnancy. If there is any other thing, you can always come. All right, thank you so much. Have a good day. That's it. Pratna. Claire, you have to close the loop. Okay, you have to close the loop. This is important. Okay, great. Any other question? Any other question, Pradnya?
Dr. Sir, previous slide, please. Next.
This is next. Next or previous? Okay, okay, that's great. All you have to do is that you need to be fluent, you need to be with applied clinical knowledge, you should know what epilepsy is and what are the important points in epilepsy. Okay, so regarding this SUDEP, this is very much important that at least you talk about this because when I was going through MBRACE 2020 report, they have, said that in 2020, they said that we should talk about SUDEP more, in detail. Okay, so it's better that you inquire this thing because recently I think the mortality has been increased from 2.7 to 2.9. All right, so it's better that we emphasize this thing. Probably this could be the good applied clinical knowledge if you say. So at least examiner will know that okay, this candidate is up to date and he or she knows that how to close the session, how to open the session as well, both. Okay, and in the beginning, and always remember all of you, the start should be very good. Start should be very kind of strong. It shouldn't be very lousy. Hello, I am this. No, it should be very good, crisp, and it should be the very in a kind of, if it is a good task, then it should be in a refreshing tone as well, unless it is a breaking bad news. All right. So you will say, hello, good morning, I'm Dr. So and so. Like I always say, hello, I'm Dr. Qureshi, the doctor in the clinic today. Can I cross check your name, please? That's it. This is what you have to do. Okay. And yes, if you have, started your session well, so obviously you can end your session well as well. All right. Very good. Very good. Any other question, anyone?
Hi, Dr. Zev. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, Salma. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hi,
Mhm.
Dr. Zev. Only one question that
Yes, yes,
government
yes.
policy, government
Mhm.
policy, how you explain to the patient and related things.
Sorry, what?
Government
Sorry?
government epilepsy.
Grand
How
mal
will I
epilepsy.
explain? Yeah, how will I
Because
explain?
this patient, you will not explain. Patient will tell you herself because grand mal epilepsy is a type of epilepsy which is patient aware of. Okay, if she is not aware of, then obviously you can talk to, or you can ask her that, can you please tell me that is there any kind of falling on the floor with jerking of your arms and legs? Okay, that is grand mal epilepsy. All right. So can you please describe your fit? Is it like, I mean, that you are falling to the floor with jerking of your arms and legs for around couple of minutes and then you be okay afterwards? Or if there is any kind of biting of lips or biting of tongue, and if there is any kind of, if you pass wee or if you pass any kind of stool as well. All right. Because there can be incontinence too. Okay. Aura you can say, or if you feel, it's better if you feel, if you say that, if you feel that you are having the fit feeling of having fit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Salma.
Yeah, yes. And how will manage that if government epilepsy, it is risk, how will explain that and management also for government epilepsy? If
So you will say,
if you explain.
if you throw this grand mal epilepsy, you will be admitted in the hospital in ICU, HTU, and you will be given continuous care by us. So we will be giving you care. We will be giving you medications through intravenous drips or injections through cannula. So this is another kind of topic, but you don't
Right.
have to go into detail of this thing because status epilepticus is another station. Okay.
Yeah, yes. And what I understand, you explained that 1% there will be feet during the labor. What
Yes.
you explained. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
1%
Thank you
extra.
very
One
much for.
percent more than. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your nice explanation. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, my dear. Welcome. Mahi, I think I have addressed this thing that you can say aura, or you can say that if you are having a feeling of having fit, because naturally the person who is a known case, she will be having this, the feeling that yes, I am having, some kind of feeling that I can have fit. So obviously you can say, okay.
Hello, ma'am. How can we explain SUD SUDUP to the patient?
Okay, you can say, you can say like this. Okay, Amanda. It is not very surprising that that around 1/3 of the women can have seizure deterioration during pregnancy, and sometimes the because of this the fit, they can even die in pregnancy as well. We call it as SUDEF. Okay, sudden unexpected death of the woman in epilepsy, with epilepsy. Okay, so it is very much important that you always keep on taking your medications on time, you have adequate rest, and you keep yourself well hydrated at all times. That's it. Okay, because we know
Okay.
that the grand mal epilepsy is the person who is a patient of grand mal epilepsy is at risk of development of SUDEP according to guidelines. Okay, so this way you can just kind of explain. All right. Okay, any other question? And remember, simulated patient tasks are always, kind of interesting and are always challenging at the same time as well. If you address and kill the issues there and then, the task is going to be very good for you. If you just ignore the role player, then it can be challenging. So never ignore the, the role player hints, role player cues, and trust me, role player do try to help you in exam. If you are going here and there, they will try to guide you as well. So try to pick those cues, try to pick those hints as well. Okay?
Excuse me, Dr.
All.
Zev.
Mhm.
Dr. Zev, sorry to ask you. That another thing you told that 2/3 will be that, that unstable. That means it will be same. And 1/3 will be worse and 1/3 will be normal
Mhm.
during pregnancy, the epilepsy
Mhm.
condition.
Mhm. 2/3 will
Am I
remain
right?
same, 1/3 will improve, 1/3 will remain, the 1/3 will
Worse.
worse.
Worse, yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is the natural course. All right. So I don't see any other question. So I think we will sum up our session then. And before summing up, if there is any question, you can always reach out to me. And before that, I will hand over this session to Mafia. So she will try to tell you something. So please be there and just give us a few more minutes. All right. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience and very attentive one as well.